Oh, yeah. Good morning. How is everyone on this July 24th, 6:04 Eastern Standard Time, or whatever time zone you're in? I hope you're doing well. Hope you're winning the game, as we say. The president's doing some winning. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I titled it, "The President is Winning Despite Landmines in His Path." And there are many landmines, but he is continuing to win. I'll tell you who's winning. Jesus is winning. Amen. He's already won. Praise God. Got to remember that. All these yokos, everybody's got the end of the world. Everything's falling apart. It's all going to collapse. God's got this in his hands. We doth worry too much, if I may twist a phrase. I hope you're doing well. Patriot Morning Show, Dave in the AM, a.k.a. the Cornbread Man. I want to tell you, I love our Southern Fried Coffees, and this is amazing. You know, I love the 55coffee.com from Killer Carl. I got a whole pack. Ian, not even open to that, but we've got our own coffees too. The SFP coffee line. This is the house blend in my just generic cup, but it is delish. It's the second pot I've had out of that. I have tried the 6-bean, now the house blend, the cowboy blend. I like that cowboy blend. The Bali Blue might be my favorite. And then I've tried the breakfast blend, Mexico and Peru, I think. Oh, so good. So glad. So excited to have that. Visit our Shopify shop. It gets you some too. In the continental United States, the shipping is included. No surprises when you go to the cart and pull that up and get the sticker shock. It's already included in. Yes, Miss Beverly, it's always light in Goshen. Praise God. Absolutely. We pin that to the top. Got to keep the right things right in front of us. Don't let all these 3-letter, 4-letter networks worry you to death. God is in control. Doesn't mean that we shouldn't pray for stuff and have burdens for stuff. Doesn't mean we shouldn't challenge politicians. Doesn't mean we shouldn't have righteous indignation at things we see going on in the world around us, in schools and school boards and politics and all those things. We got to fight the good fight. But we must remember that God is in control and he's already won. Hey, I got a verse for you this morning, your scripture of the day. Hope you read many of them, but I want to give you this one. Isaiah 26:4. Good stuff. Trust ye in the Lord forever, for in the Lord Jehovah is everlasting strength. As much as I like you, President Trump, you are not my strength. You are not. That is not meant to be a put down. Anybody gets offended at that, you need to check up. You need to go pray. God is my strength. He's my strength. President Trump can't hang on to me. I don't know who I am. I hope he wins. I want him to win a lot. But you know what? I've already won. The battles. There are many battles, but the war is over. Sin has been defeated. Jesus holds the keys to death, hell, and the grave. It's going to be okay. As long as you are with him. Make sure you are with him. He has won. In fact, I'm going to get to be in the victory parade. Praise God. Ain't that right, Miss Beverly? We get to watch. We get to march in with it. Right? White horses and all. What a sight that will be. All these dictators around the world battling it out. Blood flowing. Carnage, death, destruction. Just evil hating on evil. It'll be just the most chaotic scene ever in the history of chaos. And then he's going to ride in with the word of his mouth. He's going to put it all down. Take that, Saddam Hussein. You thought you could step out your little pistol and fire it up in the air? Thought that was you Allahs, you Khomeinis from Iran? Are you little terror leaders? Mr. Rocket Man in North Korea, you think that's power? You got no power. You got nothing, man. If he didn't let you be there, you wouldn't be there at all. It's going to all collapse on you. And I'm there for that. That's right. Marching with the saints. That's right. You got to remind people this stuff. We have a duty as podcasters, yes, to tell people what's going on. And make some commentary. Yes, let's give them the best news first, right? As the song says, I'm a winner either way. I stay or if I go. Eventually I'll go. We all do. But I am not. My hope is not in this life only. Praise God. I like my life. I got a lot of battles just like anybody else. I got some real battles going on. And every day I gotta remind myself of this, of what's going on. But I also have lived a good life, and I'm excited. I'm excited to have you here this morning. Rob's not here on Thursday. Tuesdays and Thursdays, he does not broadcast with me. I've sort of bounced it around. I've really settled in that Tuesday is the Cornbread Man morning show, which we do air on. We try to air daily on Podbean live before this show, which we did this morning. It's the Cornbread Man morning show. Thursdays is the Patriot morning show. So a couple of different things there. Enjoyed last night's show. Thanks for all taking part. Miss Jen for coming up on stage. We appreciate you you being there. And thank you, Miss Beverly, for being here this morning. Others that are watching, we have a few. They're trickling in. Trickling. It's getting towards the weekend. The heat's been unbearable. We're making it through. The president is winning. Oh, I love this. I love this. I'm already fired up this morning. All these terror indoctrination centers, otherwise known as AKA college universities of America, are starting to get put in line. And Columbia University is stepping up to the plate. I applaud them. It's not a put down of Columbia. If they're doing right, I'm all in. Well, it's a big deal, massive deal. Went through that point by point this morning on what has been released so far. This is absolutely what we needed to happen. They will pay a fine. They will get some funding back. They will report those who are committing crimes that are foreign students here in America that are causing issues within those universities. They now will have to report that to the federal government for review. They will not be allowed to wear masks in these protests, aka takeovers of universities. That is also out. They will not allow discrimination against Jewish students to continue, and all these groups will come into review. That's just the overview. It goes deeper. I hope that other universities, hello Harvard, take notice, and thank you to Dartmouth and Penn for making the right stand. Shame on you, Big Ten, for lining up and opposing the president on this. You're going to lose this battle. The founding principles of this nation are freedom, protection of those freedoms. You cannot allow any groups to overshadow another group and deprive them of their rights with threats of violence, including up into death. It must stop. It absolutely must stop. These people do not belong on campus. If they're a foreign student, they need to be arrested and deported. You come here to study. And also, part of this agreement is they will have to be interviewed on what their ideas is about coming here to study. These people ain't been going to class. They're being paid by foreign actors, maybe some inside the nation, to create chaos and to terrorize Jewish students. It's got to stop. This is a great first step. I applaud you, Columbia. It took guts. You know what? Because you where you were at, you have started turning things around. You will lead the way for other universities to do the same. And it has to happen. It has to happen across the United States. Universities must know that if they are depriving students of their rights and these students are in fear for their lives, you will be stripped of funding and you will be under further review for actions you've taken. And you may be committing great crimes against the laws of the land, and you will be tried on those laws. And it's not going to go good for you. You can't have it. Absolutely applaud Dartmouth's female president who said what I've been saying, that these institutions are areas where the free exchange of ideas must be allowed to take place. Hear, hear. Amen. And I salute you this morning. Absolutely. And I don't usually have a lot to say about universities. Let's hope they follow through. I think the federal government is going to be very involved. And let's hope that this spreads. So that's a big win, a huge win. And Columbia was ground zero for these takeovers, threats. It's enough. Enough is enough. Thank you, Joe. I'm going to keep that one. It's the only redeeming thing that I got from Joe Biden when he said enough is enough. I've been on that ever since he said it. And enough is enough. Enough is enough of universities being turned into terror indoctrination centers. And that's not to say there are some students there that are not getting education and are not taking part, because certainly they're not. But there is enough of them. These bad actors need to be taken off the universities who do not belong there. They're kicked out of the country if they don't even belong here, because they're here to study. And also, if they are American citizens, they need to be, good morning, Miss Elizabeth. These people need to be held accountable. It's ridiculous. There are people that have spoken, and this is not just a Jewish matter, although that was the crux of the issue. There are people that have been speaking up for the rights of female athletes. There was one of them that was cornered at a university after being shouted down at a university. She hid out with a very small protective force, and they were in fear for their lives. There were people demanding and trying to beat the door down to get at this person. They no doubt had death on their minds. They were going to kill this young lady. She absolutely was afraid for their lives. They had to bring in a tactical force to remove these people after 2+ hours of being in that. She ran from the stage. She had to for fear of her life, and they were trying their best to get in there. And thank God they didn't set the building on fire. That's the kind of crap that's been going on. And it has to stop, and these people must be dealt with and are not allowed to do such actions against speakers. I mean, this is the place where you're supposed to be able to speak. This is the place. You don't have to lock it. It's all called, expressing your opinion. Universities bragged about this for decades, for centuries, really. Oh, this is where we go. We can say whatever we want. It's safe ground. Yes, you can protest something, but they're flipping tables over. They're trying to rip. They're trying to grab people by the hair and pull them down, punching them, throwing things on them. Sometimes chemicals. This has to stop. It's escalating. And the federal government has every right to go in and intervene in this matter. It's a shame that it's taking the federal government to do it. I want to know where the state government's at. Why are you allowing this crap to go on? You cannot. Education is a great thing. But if you can't teach and you can't educate, and it turns into a place of violence, and you're afraid for your life, that's no good. It's ceased to become a place that is useful in any way anymore. And I would rather see the doors closed than to see anything like that exist. And so it's a good first step. I applaud the president. Here, way to go. You other universities, you better get on board. And a shout out to all you rabble rousers, insurrectionists, and whatever you may be. Your days are numbered. And all you cowards wearing your mask on universities while you're terrorizing innocent, young ladies and stuff, your days is done. You're going to be brought under federal charges. If you're an American citizen, you're going to spend some great amount of time in jail for these kind of actions in the future. And if you're a foreign student, you're done. You go home and you'll never be allowed back in this country ever again. And that's the way it should be. We have to get tough. Enough is enough. And this is happening not just at major universities. This has gotten down into secondary universities. What I mean, they're not the top tier. They're universities in every state in the union, including here in Georgia. We've had problems with that, not to the level of Columbia, but it has certainly happened. Then you get the Ivy League cleaned up, and then go to some others out west. Let's get them cleaned up. It's a place of education. You're free to express your ideas. You are not free to terrorize student union groups, to terrorize women, to terrorize those that are pro-life, to terrorize those that are of a Bible club or whatever it may be. You are not free to do that. Nor is Jewish students free to terrorize so-called Palestinians or Arabs or anyone else. That has happened too in some cases. Very minor, considering the numbers that has happened the other way, but you can't have that. You can't allow that. No one should be attacked in that way, and for fear that they're going to be hurt and or taken prisoner. My God. I mean, how close were we getting to a 1972 event, Munich games, and people being taken over by taken hostage by a terror group and assassinated? That's what it felt like to me. This has to stop. By gosh. Miss Elizabeth, I hope you're doing well today. I hope the ducks are well. I hope by the way, does the duck have a name? I didn't catch that has the legs that are crossed. We need a name for that duck if it doesn't. I'm sure y'all have named that duck. I probably missed it. My old man brain, I probably forgot. But what is the name of that duck? I like that duck. That duck should be like the mascot for the Southern Fried. I love it. All seriousness, I'm not mocking. I mean it. Like we stand up for the downtrodden here, those that are considered not like everyone else, because we're not like everyone else. Amen. The president is winning in trade. Huge deal with Japan. Japan, its name is Forrest. Oh, how applicable. I love that. Forrest. Forrest is now, I dubbed thee unofficially, because I'm one of two, but officially the mascot of this. It can be the mascot of the Patriot Morning Show. Absolutely. I need to get a good picture of Forrest. I need a picture of with his face, saying Aflac or something. We need a good picture. I'll put that up on screen. Forrest gets put up in a prominent place. Absolutely. The president is winning and has just announced a $550 million deal with Japan. Money to be used at the president's discretion. The creation of hundreds of thousands of jobs in America. He will reduce the tariffs from 25% to 19% on Japanese goods. And here's the best part. No tariff on American goods going to Japan. None. Zero. Nada. Which means it'll open up for more auto sales, rice to come in. This is landmark. Other countries are lining up. Some are still fighting. They will lose. It is a volatile market, but they are making differences in these imbalances. The trade imbalance with Japan stood at nearly $70 billion a year. That has now been mostly eradicated, or maybe is eradicated. And now it will actually help continue to help pay down debt. So this is a great thing. I think today the president should make some sort of move about all this money that's going out of the state, out of the nation, to foreign places. We're absolutely losing money on that, and he should make that happen today. Billions of dollars. Amazing. Making deals. Indonesia will be lining up very quickly. Others. There's some who are playing hardball. They're not going to win this. It is a volatile market. There's no doubt the auto industry is in trouble. But if you don't do something, it's going to be in trouble anyway. Near to where we live is a major car manufacturer. They've cut out 800 jobs. 800 jobs. But you know why those were cut out? A lot of it had to do with electric vehicles. A lot of these federal subsidies and just free money, gone. So that has made a big change. Some battery companies have decided not to build factories in Georgia or have downsized them all up and down the I-75 corridor, including a major battery plant. I think that was out Interstate 16. I think that was the one. Could be right. I think that's the area. They stopped building. They cleared the land and stopped. The market is drying up on this. There'll always be a market there, but not to the level they were. The free federal money that they were getting drying up. So I was talking to a gentleman recently, lost his job with that major car manufacturer, $32 an hour. They just had voted to go union recently. He said he could not make people understand. This young man has a really smart head on his shoulders. He said he told him, he said, you quit asking for the moon. Get some increases, get better this, better that. And the next time you ask a little more. They said, no, we want it all now. And he said, they're fools and they are losing. And many of those people were given payouts up to $37,000, but they all lost their jobs. And I think that's where we're at. If we can increase the ability to sell around the world, because we're selling everybody else's, it would help. So we don't see people lose their jobs, but there's a lot of this has been propped up. We've been paying for that. Remember they were giving all the money to GM. Everybody bragged, oh yeah, you saved the car company. I absolutely thought it was a great idea to just buy, everybody a new car. If you're going to spend that kind of money, you're making sales, you're keeping workers working. They didn't see it that way. That was the one thing this young man really missed was they get the lease of the car. He got a new car every 6 months, brand spanking new. So he had to turn his car in because he's not working there anymore, unless he wanted to pay for it. And he said, no, it came out of your check. You didn't even miss the money. You had a new car every 6 months. Pretty good incentive if you like that kind of car. It's a new car regardless. So he said that was the biggest thing he had to adapt to was having to get his own car. Welcome to the real world, right? I mean, if they got a deal, I don't care. That's between them and their employer. Doesn't matter to me. If that's the kind of deal they make, that's the kind of deal they make. But the president is winning in the trade imbalances, and he is absolutely putting pressure on these other companies. He said it'd be a bumpy road ahead, but I would say a $550 billion trade deal with Japan absolutely is helping in this matter. That should help the markets, absolutely help the markets. He's not winning in some areas. Not yet. Birthright citizenship, federal court, not district, affirmed the lower court's ruling that the president cannot, doesn't have the ability to do what he wanted to do here. And so it continues on. It will march on to the Supreme Court. And who knows what they'll do. So we will see. We'll see what that happens. This was already at the Supreme Court, was pushed back down to the lower courts. They wanted them to make a ruling on that, and then they will make a ruling. I think he might be okay here, but you never know with the Supreme Court anymore. They got those 2 or 3 that swing strange sometimes. Roberts, right? Kavanaugh, I wouldn't have believed it, but sometimes he made some odd rulings. And of course, Amy Barrett. You have the extreme left, the extreme right of it. They pretty much vote the same all the time. Then you have these that kind of flow between, kind of back and forth, mostly to center right, but sometimes they are slightly to the left in their ruling. So we will see. In speaking about these green deals, the president has canceled nearly $5 billion in green energy loans that Biden administration had put in place and provided and guaranteed. But they have said that they're not going to let these loans go through. The Green Belt Express is labeled by developers as the biggest transmission line in U.S. history. The Department of Energy said the power line was a high voltage direct current transmission line intended to connect wind, solar capacity across Kansas and Missouri. The total length of the power line would have run about 800 miles through Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, and ended near the Illinois-Indiana border. After a thorough review of the project's financials, the Department of Energy found that the conditions necessary to issue the guarantee were unlikely to be met. It added that it is not critical for the federal government to have a role in supporting the project. They are terminating the conditional loan and ensure more responsible stewardship of taxpayer resources. Hallelujah. So whether they may still get this, they'll have to find a new way. Trump administration has outlined a new direction for American energy development focusing on oil, gas, coal, nuclear, and hydropower. Missing from the list are green energy projects that rely on wind and solar power. Senator Josh Haley, Republican Missouri, was a vocal critic of the project. He posted in response to the announcement that the Grain Belt Express boondoggle loan has been, in capital letters, canceled. I like Josh Hawley. He tells it like it is. He pretty much stands on point. He seems to always be positioned very, very well. He posted mid-July that he was lobbying Trump against the project. The primary developer, Chicago-based Invenergy, reposted Hawley and claimed that the project is aligned with the president's energy dominance agenda. Wrong. Way to go. Thought you could be preemptive there. Get the president on your side. Wrong. President also announced that European allies will pay 100% for military equipment. It's been talked about. We're still making it. We make the best in the world. But they say they're going to have to pay 100% of the cost of all military equipment that's going to Ukraine. Absolutely. I don't want to pay for it. Do not want to pay for it at all. I wish we were out of there. It doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. But at least we're not paying for it. Imagine how much has been sent. We don't even have a full accounting. I would like to know that. If anybody could have an understanding of anywhere close to the, I would like to know, and I'd like to see it itemized. How many Patriot missiles, how many bullets, artillery shells, HIMARS, how much of everything we sent, and the cash, and where it went. We'll never see it. We will absolutely never see it. I believe when you have that kind of investment, you should have a team of people on the ground in that country, and everything flows through them. And little man Zelensky should have to come in a room, sit down with his financial people, and say, "Okay, now where's the money going?" Just like you would for a loan. Well, we're gonna need $2 million worth of artillery shells. We're going through this amount every day. This is where we're at. Oh, and by the way, are you winning at all? Like, is this a good deal? And make them answer for that stuff. Oh, you're going to need how much to keep the government open? I would think that you have to have that. I mean, you have to have some kind of accounting, and make them answer up for wherever that goes. Good morning, Steve. Unions are cancer. They can destroy good companies in record time. Well, I'm not a union guy at all. I don't work for a union shop. I don't never cared for it. There were a time in this country when they definitely help workers get, safer and get rights and stuff. But whenever they come on the scene, they drive countries into the ground. You're right. And here in the South, we've seen that. I know of several examples where they went out of business and left people without a job. They always ask for these. They will always ask for more. And they always say, "You're lying. There's money there." They cripple the company. They can't make business. They'll move and just make business elsewhere. And that was another point that this young man made. He told them, and he said this way: the Germans they're not going to play with you on this. They very much got a plan about how they want to do business, and they're ready to be hardball with you, And he said it was like a fever. They couldn't see that, and they just, we're gonna ask for everything. We deserve it. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get free health care. We're gonna get this. We're gonna get that. We're gonna make $50 an hour. Our union brothers and sisters in the North are getting it. We're gonna get it here. What you're gonna get is seeing that company go over into Mexico. That's what you're gonna see. That's absolutely what you're gonna see. They're not gonna stay here. They came to Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, and so on and so forth, to get away from that. And so they've been moving south. This was considered a landmark win. But again, they've cut out a whole third shift, 800 plus jobs, from what I was told. Now, I have heard that same company has built facilities in Mexico. They're hedging their bets. They've got a huge investment here. It's not closing up shop overnight, but it is absolutely dangerous to the future of that company in the Tennessee Valley if they don't watch it. If they don't watch it, Tennessee's a great state for business to come into, but you start throwing that business model up and right. I mean, let's face it, it's with all the costs that have happened. You realize you were listening 10 minutes prior to live. Cool. I hope you're doing well this morning, Steve. I hope you are ready to face the day. Go make some important machinist top things and help America be better today. Make your company go. Make some money for yourself. Feel good about yourself. As a man. Oh. It's a good feeling to work. It's just the action of is frustrating sometimes. I was watching people coming in and looking for a job yesterday. Our job in my department is to show them the jobs, and then it's an interview process between the supervisor and there's a decision made. One, do they want the job? Two, do we want them in that job? Because you're trying to get the most capable, have low turnover. And I was listening to a guy yesterday. His mom used to work for us. But I was just thinking about these that were coming in the door and, what it felt like for me 34 plus years ago to go to this place looking for a job. It's a great feeling to know you have a job. That's a sad feeling to know, I've been at a company that closed the doors. You go in one day and they say, you don't have a job here. Go to the Department of Labor. They'll give you further instruction. That's the most defeated feeling, one of them in the world, is to know you don't have a job. And some people do. They just drive these companies in the ground. The profit line is very narrow in most things because of competition. Somebody's always ready to undercut you to get the business. And sometimes will even break even. In some cases, it's still business, and because that's new business and product moving, and then slowly increase it and start making profit. I've seen that too. So there's just this belief that these companies just have this endless supply of money sitting in a vault somewhere. And granted, I think a worker should be paid their fair wage. Absolutely a living fair wage. I'm all for that. But at some point, you're not going to be able to get more and more and more. It's not going to happen. Because you can't raise your prices. And somewhere that money has to be, you got to make money. They're in the business to make money. I don't know why that become a dirty word. The Biden administration was constantly attacking these rich billionaires. Well, that's the ones that own these companies. Yeah, they've made a lot of money. Well, it's called capitalism, But nobody's going to open up their personal bank account and start giving money away. That's not how that works. It's your money. You earned it. You made it. But even though they're rich, if a company starts being unprofitable, you're losing money and hemorrhaging and bleeding out. If you can't rescue it, you close it, sell it. You do whatever you got to do. It's over. And people should want their company to be doing very well. Those are meetings I listen really close to when they talk about how's the business doing. I'm listening very hard during that. I want to hear good news. Any kind of business update from my company, I'm all in. Because there's always things that are doing great. There's areas that are struggling, areas that are okay. What are we doing to strengthen those that are struggling or just okay, and let's maximize on what's working great. Absolutely. Let's stand above the pack and make a lot of money because that's good for me. That's good for everybody. Some people when they think about a company going out of business, they just think about the people who owned it. They don't understand the total economic impact on their community. Those workers that were buying at the stores, buying the cars, the houses, spending money at the local restaurants, that money's gone. And it can cripple a community, especially if it's a small town. There's small towns in America, they have one or two factories that are nearby that are really propping up that town. A town will and can die. That's right, Miss Beverly. A poor man never gave me a job. That's right. I mean, it's just the way it works. I absolutely applaud. I want them to do well. I don't have any. I don't have any, jealousy or anything towards them. I've never looked at Warren Buffett owns my company. I mean, we're owned by Berkshire Hathaway. I've never looked at Warren Buffett and say, you need to give us your money. No, it's his money. He made it. Smart guy who has lived very frugal, actually. He's not like some of them you see. He's not in the gated community, the ultra rich and living off a yacht. This guy's very frugal. And has said, I'm not giving all my money to my kids. They got to earn their way. I'll give it away to charity and stuff. He's planning his stepping down now. And I don't agree with everything he's done. I mean, I wouldn't say that because there's definitely things that we disagree on. But yeah, these people are successful, and they make things go. It's their idea. I talked to these two guys once. I ran into them at a conference. A class I was taking in Atlanta, and I was staying at the hotel connected to the place that was having the class. And I ran into these two guys. Guys saw my badge, and he said, "Oh, I used to work for them." Me and a friend of mine used to work there, and we came up with this. We came up with the idea for this machine that we still use today. It's in my facility. And I was fascinated to listen to this guy. One guy had the technical, like he knew how to make it happen schematically. The other guy knew how just to think it and make it like this is the idea. Like he creates the idea. The other guy says, okay, here's what that looks like in a schematic. And then they had people building that, the initial model for it. And we run that today. It's a big seller for us. We get a higher profit margin off of the idea. And I met the guy and shook the hand of the guy who came up with that. I said, how in the world did you ever do it? He said, well, I was the guy that did. I just knew how to do the computer part, the sketching out, the different programs you use. He said, I got to give full credit to my friend. We were a team, but he said he had it in here. He figured it all out. I just helped him make it become a reality. And we got credit for that. He said, I've moved on now with another company. But I thought, that is absolutely incredible. So I don't care. I hope the guy's rich. There are people working those jobs today, and they will never know who did that. There's no sign there. There's no plaque that says these two guys, at least not in our company. I mean, maybe somewhere, but I don't see that. They get no credit for it. You know how they got their credit? They got paid. And that's a big deal. That's absolutely a big deal. So, yeah, we want the president to win. The great Rush Limbaugh. They tried to attack him every day on many things. I remember him talking about this. And they got mad at him because he wanted Obama to lose. And they said, "Oh, yeah, you're against the country. You want to see America, fail." He said, "No, no, no. You misunderstand. I want the president to lose on the policies that he's doing that is crippling the country. If he was doing the right things, I would want him to win. But what he's doing is hurting us. That's an important distinction. When I say win, I want that means the things that are good for America, that make us better, stronger, a better place to live and raise our families and have a career. That's what I mean. That's the winning, to be strong around the world, not being pushed around. No, we're not a bully, but we're telling people, you stay on your side of the line, we'll be okay. You cross over it, it's on like Donkey Kong. I want us to have the military muscle and might if we need it, to do what we need to do to remain strong and free in this world, this chaotic world. I want us to be the leader. Why would we not want to be the leader in manufacturing and economies and technology and everything? Why would you not want that? It's not my job to want some other country to escalate to that. We can do business with somebody. I'm tired of seeing companies move and take our jobs to these other places. I mean, the hosiery mills in the South, gone, just about entirely, if not entirely. Your jeans, your socks, your all that stuff gone. Ghost towns. These buildings have been repurposed into other businesses, and every other kind of industry like that can be taken away from us. Steel. A lot of our steel has been taken away. The president's trying to get it back, and there's deals that's been made recently that are strengthening that. But foreign countries were shipping steel to us. Are you kidding me? Ridiculous. I want us to win in this area. I want us to be economically a powerhouse. Anything less is unacceptable. The American dream was to be able to have a career, a house, 2 cars, whatever, take vacations, live in freedom, all that stuff. To be what you want to be if you're willing to work hard at it. Nobody's giving you anything. Just don't get in the way. Let people build their businesses, help them, encourage them, assist them, and quit sending all this help everywhere else. Let's create those things here. The backbone of America is all these small companies in a collective that are, employing the handful of folks. And they grow, and they get a little bigger and a little bigger. I've known places like that started out in a one room and now have multiple locations. That's great to see. Bye, Miss Beverly. You have a blessed day too. And talking about going to work, off to work, we salute you. Take care. Thanks for stopping by. You're a real blessing. Miss Beverly. I don't know if Miss Beverly ever comes up on stage, but I'd love to have her up sometime, talk to her. She sounds like, and is, I know she is, an amazing person. She's like Steve. Steve's amazing, but in a different way. He's probably not listening. He's probably rocking out. He's got some music going, getting his groove on, got the shaver going. Well, he's probably headed to work by now. Well, he might be shaving going down the road. He's got some, let's see, what would he be listening to? He's got some Molly Hatchet going on this morning. Flirting with disaster. Got the old shaver going, eating a couple of sausage biscuits as he's riding down the road, driving with his knees because he's shaving and eating, texting, stops at the red light, repositions everything, hoping that the next red light doesn't hold him up as he gets going towards work again. Is it a manual transmission, dude? He might be having to do, maybe the elbow is shifting gears. Headed on to the work. I'll be doing that soon. It's funny when you get in these routines when you're headed to work, and you take a lot of times the same path. I don't have that coordination. But you go the same path, you stop at the same places, and you build up this, they know your name. It's the Cheers model, right? I'm too lazy to shave. I mean, if if I wasn't at work, if I was retired, I might let my beard grow back out. I don't know, maybe not. It probably would look horrible now, but shave for work. We could have a beard, but in a professional kind of way, I just not gonna do that. But but yeah, you stop at the same places, the little small. I like to stop at small places if I can. But even at the chains, there's a Hardee's that I stop by a lot, and it's right on the way. And I know one of the girls that works there. She used to go to my church, one of my churches I was in, and you know, you see those people. And sometimes I make the order, and they'll say, "All right, Mr. David, pull on around." They see you in the camera, and it's that brief interaction that you have. Hey, y'all have a great day. It's good to see you. You know, and just imagine how that would stop if your company shut down. All that is lost. And I know nothing lasts forever. People retire, they pass on, they move, but you get used to those interactions. It kind of makes your day. They're friendly, they're waving at you. Hey, good to see you. How you doing today? That's cool. Maybe on the way home, you stop, you get something cold to drink, and I don't mean alcohol, but it could be that. You're headed home, and you know you lose the company, and all that stuff dries up. Those companies don't have sales start going down. I've known of people that would stop on the way and get breakfast for several people. So in effect, they were more than just one. They were carrying orders for you know 10 other people. So maximizing that stop, you know, it's just huge in the community to have that. You need something quick on the way home. You got to have something that broke. You got to fix it. I'm gonna stop on the way home and get that. There's Ace Hardware as I go by. There's little places I can stop, and I like that. Steve said, I wanted to mention earlier the company I work for directly links the infrastructure of this country. We make snowplows, salt spreaders, trailer components, truck, toolbox, etc. Oh, how cool! Absolutely, man. And that's important. I when I had my little Ranger, I loved my truck box. I did. I did. I did. I don't have that truck anymore, but I don't have one in this truck. I've got a cover over the top, but maybe one day. But yeah, the snow plows, the spreaders, all that. Heavy steel, baby. Get that stuff made. There's a place nearby here that makes the tankers. You know, it's a big deal, a big company. Part of me is kind of proud that we're making the road safe and keeping this impossible industrial thing going. Yeah, yeah, man, there should be pride in that. That's the that's the heart of America, man. That heavy manufacturing, man. We've got a Caterpillar pretty close to us here. Making. I mean, that it's just great to see that. It does make you feel good, and as those things leave the lot, they're sold. I used to guard at a place, and they made. I think they made some kind of trailers. Was it trailers? No, no, no. They made the. I'm sorry. They made the counterweights. The counterweights to you know anything that needs that counterweight. And as I was working as a second job, guarded there for a short time, and I thought, what a great, satisfying feeling to see those load up. Sometimes I see the workers out there watching the truck pull out the flatbed that had those on there, all chained down, headed out to those industries, and you could see a sense of pride in them. Like, oh, there's another load. We made that, and it's going to the next step, and now to be used out there in the world. That's a cool thing. It is absolutely a cool thing, and it should be proud of that. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. You know, when you're loading that kind of stuff, I've loaded trucks before, and there's always this satisfaction. And I don't know. You ever do this? It goes way back, but and I see it happen a lot, and I've done it without even really thinking about it. You've filled the truck up with whatever. You've cut the paperwork. You lower that door and you lock it in or whatever, and the driver's there, and they'll kind of hit the back of that like you're ready to go. It's just a feel good thing. It's like there goes another load. There's another trailer load of our material, our product going on down the road. And when you see those trucks on the highway, it's like, oh, there goes our trucks. And that is a good feeling. I want to see those trucks just keep on moving. Or I've seen on rail cars before because we do ship some by rail. And that's cool as well. But yeah, man. Especially up there and all that stuff, man. Scraping and salting and all that. I know y'all got the massive snows going on. That's absolutely critical for us to have. There's been many a times, my friend, where I've been so pleased that the plow came by, because without them, I think I was nearly about stuck. I'd jump in behind them and rock and roll. Steve said, I used to work on the transfer dock at the last company I worked for. The truck leaving my building was just going to another building to get unloaded into a warehouse, but it did feel like like off into the sunset kind of moment. Yeah, it's just a feeling, man. It's like another load done. Even if it is just going to the next building or whatever, that's part of that process. That's like an assembly line, and you've put this part on and it moves on. And you just keep doing that. And there is a sense of pride in that. It is. By the way, I've been watching these guys, and they're crazy, but I could never do it. I've just now noticed these videos of these guys that are going into former coal mines and caves and stuff, and they're going in, they're just getting video and stuff of it. Some of them are former miners and stuff. And they're crawling through very narrow spaces. They're showing these wood supports and showing where they dug at. God bless those men and women. Not my gig. I couldn't do it. But some of those areas where it's just thinking about that mountain on top of you in an area that, you can't you have to crawl into, and you're, chipping away at the mountain and getting coal or whatever it is you're looking for. Wow. Full on respect. And there are many who said, I did that for 30 years or 40 years. I'd go back in a heartbeat if my health would allow. And loved it. Some people are just geared for stuff like that. Hey, if it was, I have to save my family, I would do it. But I'd be looking for something else. I just cannot. I don't think I could handle that day after day going down in a mine. God bless y'all who do. I have great respect for that. By the way, you want to talk about proud of your work? Imagine how I feel when I ship something from my forge. Oh yeah, man. And I have thought about that. No joking. When because we didn't have a store at first, and we have since started getting some things. Of course, we're not making anything like you are, but I went to your store right after we first met, and I thought, how cool is that? I think you had 4 or 5 products in there at the time, maybe 4, and we're talking about future things you wanted to do. And I thought, how cool is that to say, I have a store, and I made the stuff in the store. And then you were talking about how you get that notification that an order has came in. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. And it's cool on my end when I get that in and I realize that I know the guy that made that and packed that and shipped that. That's a cool feeling too. Matter of fact, I am fixing to. I'll try to have it by tonight. Uh, I've got a birdhouse that I don't use as a bird. It's indoor. It's mainly for decoration with a Georgia top on it. I'm thinking about hanging that back here, and I'm gonna use one of your hooks to do that. One that we haven't used yet, and we're gonna make an order for more too. But so you will know that that's what's holding that up. So I'm gonna try to get that done tonight. I've been meaning to do that for 2 weeks. I'm gonna try my best to remember to do that today. But yeah, that just that is a cool thing, man. And again, that goes back to you put your sweat in it, your work in it, you know, and and we get the blessing of seeing where it was made. Watching the shows, you might not have seen the exact moment you made that particular item, but we're seeing where it was made. That's the cool full circle of all of what you're doing. And I'm so glad that, however, I don't even remember how, because I think I was looking for a blacksmith. I think I was wanting somebody to come on, and somehow or another, I seen your channel. I don't even remember how. I honestly don't remember how. Okay, cool. Got it, brother. Appreciate you, man. But I do need to make another order. Have a good day at work. It is 7. I'm gonna get off here. We got a big day, so I'm gonna get on moving to work. We've got executives coming in today. Top of the top, best of the best. The ones that lead our company. We're doing a tour. You'll hear about things that are going on at my facility. I'll be in the room as a manager. I don't have a speaking part today. I'll be listening and supporting that going on, and we'll have a lunch with these gentlemen and ladies, and it should be a good day. Looking glad to have them at our facility. So I'm gonna get going and be there for that. They'll be along about 8:30, I think. So I'm gonna get moving towards work. We will be back tonight, Cornbread Nation, and I am going to try to feature a new show tonight later. After that, maybe 10ish. I hope it works. I hope I can get it put together. I'd like to do it tonight. I'd like to get kicked off with it. I've got a couple of new shows that I want to sprinkle in. Excited about them. And then I've got a couple other shows I need to catch up on, like Jeb and Bubba. Got to get them done too. We'll get that this weekend. Have a great day out there. Appreciate everybody stopping by. You Rumblers, you Xers, and Facebookers, and Instagram, YouTube, wherever you're coming from. God bless you. Twitch, Kick. We appreciate you very much, and all of you fellow podcasters. You are a blessing to us. Take care. See you soon. Patriot Morning Show. I'm Dave the AM, aka the Cornbread Man, and I am